Hello everybody. We have here is BHK Bushcrafter 01 tool steel, natural micarta handles, fisheye bolts, typical of BHK, Scandi grind, really excellent bushcraft blade, performs very well as you're about to see. Standard BHK dangler sheath, fire steel loop. Let's put it through some paces, shall we? Alright, let me just back up just a bit. Make sure we're more or less in frame here. Alright. This is maple, so we're doing some hardwood again for testing purposes. No problems whatsoever. While Blind Horse Knives is not my favorite knife maker, they are my favorite American knife maker. Let me say that. Followed closely by Bark River, I'd probably say. But these guys are my favorite custom, for sure, in the US. My favorite knife maker, some of you probably already can guess what I'm about to say, would be Diving Sparrow Knife Works. Fellow Canadian. And this Scandi is just blasting through this hardwood like it's softwood. Alright, so you saw me process that up. Make sure my camera didn't move, I'm still in frame. Sure am. One hit, always good. Could probably do a lot more of these pieces in one hit, but I don't hit as hard as I can, just to try and avoid some kind of avoidance of danger, injury. I had a pretty nasty one. I'll just tell you really quick. Pretty nasty one where I went through fairly hard. The wood splintered off like this, and my hand ran down, and the piece of wood went up under the skin. Yeah, bad. Scraping knuckle and all that stuff type of thing. So I had actually happened to me twice. I did it on the other part of my hand too, but alright, so anyways, there was some batoning. We'll do a bit of feather stick. I do not feather stick hardwood very often, so a bit of a learning curve here for me. And I haven't used this knife in a while too. And with all knives, there's, you know, they have their own little techniques, depending on handle and grind and all that other stuff. Anyways, does that very easily, very well. Let me just find a piece here. Let me get all this stuff out of the way. So you saw that process that up quite simply, very easily. I'll get back to that piece in a second. Just in the whole vein of feather sticks, we'll go to some cedar. which is what I end up. This is really dry, which is what I end up using most of the time. So grabbing some bigger chunks there. Let me just try and do some lighter strips, finer stuff. The knife performs very well, as you can see. Move on to bite. I mean, that's a dry softwood, but you're getting the idea how it can just power straight through, right? With relative ease. Very quick, very easy to do. If I was doing some notching, does that very well too. Of course, again, cedar. It's a relatively easy task, and exceptionally so with this knife, or especially with this knife. Can't talk today. It's been a long day. So that's biting in fairly well. You can see. For a hardwood anyways. For a relatively thick, I think we're looking at 4 or 5 mil thick. I'll have the stats in the description, of course. So, you know, hey, it performs pretty well. Very well, in fact. Hopefully I've been on camera, or in camera. This is dry hardwood, so not bad. It's a pretty thick enough piece, you know. Like I said, it'll just blast through softwood. Like it's not even there. One thing to mention about this handle, it's extremely comfortable. You know, this is probably one of my favorite handles from them. Actually, it's probably the best handle they make. It's just so bloody comfortable. It's got a fairly round design to it. It's a substantially thick handle. Not much to it, straight and narrow. A groove for the finger there, which is very comfortable for my hand. You know, and it just performs very well. What else can I tell you about this knife? It sharpens very easy. It's got a great Scandi grind on it. It sharpens very easily. 01 tool steel. I find the retention's really nice on the edge. A little bit of touch up on a strop for me, and it gets right back to extreme sharpness, shaving sharp anyway. I won't say razor. You can get razor sharp, but razor sharp edge doesn't last very long regardless of the steel, I find. So you saw me baton with it. I'll try and keep this short. You saw me do some shavings. You know, it does those well. plows through cedar, so it plows through softwood real easy. You'll get some good shavings out of a hardwood too, you know, like anything else. It does a great job. Extreme comfort in the hand for the handle. I'll try and reposition the camera and just do some really quick chest lever cuts. It's one thing I actually haven't done with this knife, so we'll give that a quick look. Just bear with me. So a few quick chest lever cuts. A lot of people I've seen hold their knife pretty much straight out. I turn mine at a bit of an angle. So I mean, a lot of people will do this, right? From what I can tell, that's the standard. But I tend to do it like this a bit. I find a little bit more control on the knife for me, for the way my hands are, the way I'm set up. But it's very comfortable in the hand this way as well. Very comfortable. Finding a little bit of a hot spot because this part here is what you might call an aggressive. It just goes suddenly down quite a bit. So I was finding a little bit. You can see in this part of my hand, I've already got a callus there, so that's not what that's from, but it's red right here, just from where that was sitting. So a little bit in chest lever. Other than that, the handle, you don't even know you're holding the knife. It's so comfortable. But you feel it a little bit in chest lever. So we'll do a little close-up look at the knife and the sheath. Just bring it over here. There we go. Autofocus finally. So brass fittings, stainless steel in the middle of those fisheye. Nice Scandi. There's your steel code, as all BHKs have steel code stamped into them, so it's 01. Really comfortable handle. And then just their standard sheath. Dangler. Used to be a button over. I decided I didn't like button overs, so I just trimmed that off just into a plain pouch. Fire steel loop. Hole at the end here for lanyard, whatever you need. Hole at the top. Belt feature on the back, of course. Good stitching, double stitching. It's a good sheath. Soft, but good. I'm going to be doing a wet forming video on this. I'll have it out this week. Probably have it out at the same time as this video, so check that out as well. Just to increase the tightness on the sheath. It's not bad now, but I want it to almost click when it goes in, so it'll be more of a friction fit. Hope you enjoyed, and as always, if there's any questions, just let me know, and I'll do my best to answer them or add anything to any films that you want to see. Take care, be well.